Firstly, my first argument. It is unfair that when somebody writes a book or a song, they should get the credit. The person, the ghostwriter, should get the credit and put themselves on the cover of the book or the song. And rather than the celebrity getting all the credit, getting all the fame. And even though the ghostwriter still gets paid, it is minor compared to the major fame the celebrity will get. For my second argument, hard work should be rewarded. Even though, like I said, they get paid, it is absolutely nothing compared to the fame that celebrity gets. All the fans, everything, they think the celebrity did that song or book, but actually the ghostwriter wrote that piece. For my third argument, it could trick people. People can easily get fooled when a ghostwriter writes an autobiography or of someone like, I don't know, Obama, and they think Obama wrote the book. They will buy loads of copies of them because they think their hero wrote that book, wrote that himself. But the true story behind that is not the truth people think it is. The ghostwriter wrote every single word in that book. Yeah, POI?
If the ghostwriter were to publish that book individually, to publish the book that you're talking about individually, do you think he would have the resources and the ability, the capability to do this so then it could become popular?
He might not be as popular as the actual celebrity itself, but at least he would get. I'm not saying he should put his face on the book. I'm saying he should get a subtitle, some credit for the book. Maybe it says written by the author, but based on the true story of Obama, let's say again. Thank you.
Hi. First, I would like to start with some rebuttals for the opposing side's argument. So, um, first of all, the government claims that um the the government claims that they should deserve like the ghostwriters should deserve some credit in their work, and although that is true, um but then like they are ghostwriters for a reason, because sometimes to even get credit from uh from like this famous celebrity, then you still need to pay you still need to pay money even to get credited. So however, some ghostwriters do not, some like artists do not have the financial resources to even be credited, and maybe they're just starting out, but however show some insane talent. But um so therefore, like, being a ghostwriter is like their only way to get their
POI?
to their money. Yes.
Why would you need to pay the celebrities money to actually get just a little bit credited?
Because some celebrities, because like if uh because like there could be like a whole team, or like a whole production team, just working on every single thing, or like anything that's published for the celebrity or influencer. So getting your credit for the influencer, like the influencer doesn't need your credit, right? But then you want that credit for yourself. Like you want that credit, so therefore you still have to pay the influencer, or else like the influencer won't even like give you credit because they have their own production team, and the influencer doesn't need you. So um but now uh since the government didn't manage to define the motion, I'm gonna define the motion. So um the motion will be defined as, we define ghostwriting as like a straight up and a very legal job. It is literally a contract. a person writes, like I write, you pay me, and we both agree on who gets the credit. There's literally no difference from like a movie director getting all the praise, but then the camera crew and the set designers, like actually for like a movie, will actually like carry the whole team. So the first argument is that banning ghostwriter screws over the up and coming writers you're trying to protect. So, um, but how do you think small time writers actually break into like the major entertainment industry? They don't get handed like an award on their first day of doing this. They get hired to write one verse for an already famous artist. The this like verse, they will pay their rent and they will buy them food, and most importantly, they get their name circulating in the industry. Take that, like if you're only people that are already rich and famous would have the actual time and money to produce content. Secondly, great entertainment is actually a team effort and not just one person showing off. The other side is stuck on this old school idea of this tortured genius writing alone in their bedroom. But honestly, that's not how like the entertainment or pop culture works anymore. A very good song has like at least 5 producers and writers in the room throwing ideas around. Like a Netflix show, for example, will have like um an entire like production team. Their job is to look at everything and like uh for the ghostwriters and then say that it would sound like the actual artist, the influencer. Like if you ban ghostwriters and you force everyone to do everything like solo, which is like solo, but it just means just worse music and then like and less entertaining books, and nobody wants that. So the bottom line, so like ghostwriting is a a legitimate job that actually helps new writers pay their bills and actually makes the art we love actually good, because the other side wants to build walls for these ghostwriters and not allow them to do to actually do their job. So because but then so then we believe that more people involved will mean like better entertainment content for all of us. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to begin with my speech. Guys, art is supposed to be for example, art is supposed to be an intimate expression of like human experience. But in today's entertainment industry, we've allowed the deepest, most personal, emotional labor of young, struggling creators to be commodified, packaged, and sold under the faces of aging billionaires. The motion before is not about banning ghostwriting in textbooks or nonfiction. Where statistics and facts are traded, we are debating the entertainment. Um, Give me 1 second. We are debating We are debating the entertainment, for example, in the music industry, celebrity, memoirs, and social media. In this unique realm, to be a ghostwriter is to sell your very identity so that a famous artist can cosplay as someone else. Because we believe in the dignity of the creator and and the necessity of a vibrant, authentic, artistic market, we are incredibly proud to propose this motion. We bring you 2 main ideas of analysis. First, the inherent exploitation and theft of ghostwriting contract. And second, how ghostwriters artificially pop up against aging stars at the expense of discovering new talent. Ghostwriting is a form of immoral theft and exploitation. Let's examine exactly how ghostwriting ecosystems strip the creator of their value. When you write a song or a memoir that genuinely connects with the audience, you're not just typing words, you're extracting infinite, irreplaceable emotional labor. You're using personal experiences, childhood quirks, and intimate pain in the status quo. The celebrity buys those lived experience, steals the identity of writers, and claims it as their own. This creates a massive compounding harm for the true creator. And uh, and on to my second thing, structural coercion. When you allow ghostwriting to dominate the entertainment industry, The job market, the job market shifts. Laboring and publishers stop looking for new voices to spotlight and instead only hire writers to feed their existing superstars. Third, the career trap. You cannot meaningfully consent because you cannot anticipate how this will destroy your future. Once you become a ghostwriter and internally, companies have an active incentive to suppress your independent career. Why? Because if you release your own music or books, the public might notice the similarities in tones and style. Exposing the celebrity you wrote for, your employers actively want you to keep in the shadows. And fourth, gross asymmetry in compensation. Even if they say yes, we as a society prohibit deals that are catastrophically asymmetrical, like payday loans with 500% interest or selling organs. The compensation for ghostwriters is fundamentally exploitative for two reasons. The market is oversupplied. There are far more competent writers that are credited with credited careers, and also, there's no passive income. Credited artists earn royalties and residuals for decades. A ghostwriter is given a conservative, flat free buyout, serving them for the millions of dollars. Now, I'd like to start with my rebuttals. The opposition stated that expert scientists and leaders have like vital ideas, but the lack of time or literary skills to write them down. Banning ghost writers means um, society loses out. But we say the opposition tries to paint a tragic picture of the brilliant scientists who will die dark without ghostwriter. This false dichotomy, and we sweep the entire impacts with one concept: co-authorship. I'm done. Thank you.
So in this speech, I will do two things. First, I will rebut to the proposition, second speaker and first speaker. Then I will move on to my own arguments in support of the opposition side. So first, let me start with my rebuttals. The prop argues that it is inherently dishonest for a celebrity to put their name on a book or a song that they didn't write from scratch. But they fail to realize that a celebrity is a brand, not just a single person. When you buy a pair of Nike shoes, Michael Jordan didn't sew them himself. But when you watch for example, again, a movie, the lead actor didn't write the script or build the set. Ghostwriting is no different. It is simply part of creating like a work and of a creative team helping a brand deliver what its fans want and what the creator wants to show. Second, on stealing credit, the prop claims that ghostwriters are being exploited or wiped out of history. This completely ignores the real circumstance because ghostwriters are professional adults who enter into legally binding, highly profitable contracts, and they are not having their work stolen. They are willingly selling their words in exchange for a massive and guaranteed paycheck without any of the burdens of being famous, and banning this takes away their right to conduct business and actually earn a living because they don't have the like uh resources to become famous or the confidence to present themselves. Now moving on to my own arguments. So my argument today centers on the sheer logistics of modern entertainment industry and why banning ghostwriters will completely paralyze the creative world. So the proposition wants to force every celebrity, musician, and influencer to personally draft and create every word of their autobiographies and their creations, and write also for example every single lyric to their songs. But this is nearly impossible because highly high profile entertainers have incredibly demanding schedules. For example, a pop star has to fly across the globe doing 8-hour dance rehearsals, filming music videos, doing interviews, and managing charity foundations and etc. And they physically do not have the time in a day to actually sit down for a few months and like draft a 3,000-page book or whatever. And what they do are like incredible and unique life experiences and like also raw concepts that and like stories that fans like actually want to hear. And ghostwriters act as essential creative like translators or a communicating medium that a celebrity sits down on or like sits like face to face with the ghostwriter and shares their thoughts, memories, and also their voice and their perspective. And the professional writer like efficiently structures it into a beautiful piece of media instead of actually letting the creator use their like precious time. And if you pass this motion and ban ghostwriters, you create a massive bottleneck in the industry where production like speeds will like eventually like stop, and it will like make these creations be like created very slowly, and we will, for example, see fewer books to be published, fewer songs to be released. And in conclusion, our team believes that it is like important to keep ghostwriters as a very key role in the entertainment industry. Proud to oppose.
Okay, let me start with my rebuttals. The other team made some points today, but they got it wrong. Let me explain why. Opposition say a ghostwriter is just part of a team. They don't need credit. But being a part of a team is fine. But every team member should be honest about their role. When you watch a film, everyone gets credited. The director, the writer, the camera position, all of them at the end of the movie and slideshow. So why should music and books be different? If the ghostwriter is a team member, put their name on it. The fact that their name is hidden tells you everything. My second rebuttal. Opposition say ghostwriters are not being exploited. They get paid. But we are not saying ghostwriters are being treated unfairly. We are saying fans are. The ghostwriter gets their money, but the fan spends their money thinking they're buying something real, and they're not. Getting paid doesn't make the deception. Yeah, okay.
So, for example, for example, one person doesn't want like to show their faces or let people know that he is creating stuff. Are you saying that you still have to force people to like put credit on it? And also like people don't even look at like, for example, the credit page on a movie that seriously. So what, like, you don't have to force.
We're not saying we're forcing people to ghostwriters to put their face on the book. Or we're just saying if they want some credit, at least a little bit, they can put their name on the book, written by. And now let me continue. Getting paid does not make the deception okay. If I paid someone to take my exam for me, they would get their money, but I'd still be cheating. That's not right. My third rebuttal. Opposition say banning ghostwriting stops them earning a living. A ban on ghostwriting doesn't stop ghostwriters from working. They can still write books, songs, and articles. They just have to put their name on them, honestly. There are thousands of authors and songwriters who do exactly that every single day. Ghostwriters don't lose their jobs, they just lose the ability to hide. First, now, let me remind you what the proposition has proved today. First, ghostwriting deceives fans. They believe the song or book is not real. It is not. Second, fans spend real money on fake talent. That is not fair, and it is not honest. Third, honest artists who do their own work are treated unfairly when others can simply buy their way to fame. And fourth, the fix is simple. Make credits compulsory by law, just like films already do. Then the fans can decide for themselves. The other team told you ghostwriting is normal and harmless. But we have one simple question for them. If it is so harmless, why is it kept secret? Why do celebrities not just tell their fans? Because they know fans would be upset. They want to hide that. That is the proof. If you have to hide it, it is wrong. The proposition are proud to say, ban ghostwriting in entertainment. Thank you.
As the opposition whip, my role is to rebut the government's main points and present the main clashes in this debate and show why opposition wins every one of them. So first, let me deal with government's extension and points. Government claims ghostwriting is unfair because ghostwriters do not receive credit, lose chances to express their talent, and are undervalued in the industry. But this misunderstands the nature of the work. Ghostwriters choose the role. They are paid professionals who trade public recognition for financial stability or consistent work. Not every creator wants or needs to be in the spotlight. Many prefer working behind the scenes. Proposition argues, government argues that this is like paying to be this is like cheating in a test, but that is completely incorrect. This is much more like building a set in a movie. Your name is not mentioned if you're simply the hired work to build a set, but it is still generally accepted in society. More importantly, banning ghostwriters does not suddenly give them recognition. It removes their opportunities entirely. Instead of being undervalued, they're now unemployed. So on the claim that they lose chances to express talent, that is simply not true. Ghostwriters can and often do pursue their own projects separately. Ghostwriting is an additional pathway, not a limitation. So instead of protecting ghostwriters, yes.
Earlier in the speech, you said that ghost. Sorry. Early in your speech, you said we didn't say that it is mandatory for all ghostwriters to just put their name on it. We're saying it's optional, but it's preferred.
Is that your rebuttal? Okay. You argue. So you argue that putting your name on it is my point, but that is not my point. My goal is not for every we do not antagonize putting your name and having credit on your work, and that's not the point, right? Because we instead of arguing that the name is not true, we argue that it's losing chances to express talent. Anyways, moving on. Instead of protecting ghostwriters, government's model harms them. So second, let's defend our extension. So we show that art is fundamentally collaborative, not individual. From songwriting to publishing to content creation, multiple people are always involved. Ghostwriting is just one form of that collaboration. We don't argue that their names should be put on it, or but we do argue that this ban reduces access. Many people have valuable ideas but lack writing skills. Ghostwriting allows those ideas to exist. Without it, the industry becomes more exclusive, not more fair. Let's weigh the debate. So there are three main clashes. First of all, it's the argument of fairness versus choice. Government says ghostwriting is unfair because of lack of credit. We show it is only a voluntary exchange. Writers choose payment on opportunity over having their credit, over having their name on the work. And ghostwriters can choose as well to be an artist and create themselves instead of being a ghostwriter. But it is often better because they have more steady pay, and as well as getting an opportunity to understand the industry before creating their own artwork individually. So second, expression versus the restriction. Government claims ghostwriters lose the ability to express themselves. We show the opposite. Banning ghostwriting removes an entire avenue for them to use their skills and participate in the industry. Second, the actual harm that is created. So government gives you abstract harms about recognition and value. We give you actual harms: loss of jobs, less opportunities, lower quality content, and less efficiency and inclusivity in the industry. Even if you believe that there is some concern about credit, it is clearly outweighed by the scale of harm caused by a ban. For those reasons, opposition clearly wins, and we proudly oppose. Thank you.
So, Judge, this debate comes down to three clear clashes. First, we have a clash over authenticity, where the proposition demands an unrealistic standard of solo creation, while we accept that great art is the result of a team collaboration. Second, there is a clash over the rights of workers, where we protect a writer's freedom to choose a private, profitable career, while the proposition wants to make their livelihood basically illegal. Finally, we have a clash over industry reality, where we prove that the environment world, the environment of where the entertainment world relies on efficiency, while the proposition pushes an idealized fantasy that would paralyze creative production. So the proposition's examples completely fail to support their case because they fundamentally do not understand how the entertainment industry functions. They look at a celebrity and expect them to do everything alone, completely ignoring the fact that there are always dozens of people working behind the scenes to keep the industry working. A ghostwriter is no different. They are just another vital member of a creative crew. We deserve to win this debate because our world acknowledges how real business and art are made. We don't just protect the entertainment industry from pausing. We also protect the rights of professional writers to be paid safely for their talents. Therefore, this motion must fall, and our team is proudly to oppose.
Panel, this debate comes down to two fundamentally different visions of the entertainment industry. The opposition defends a stagnant world where aging billionaires legally harvest the lived experience of desperate youth. We defend a vibrant world where creators own their emotional labor and the next generation gets a genuine chance to shine. Let's examine the two core clashes that witness this debate. Clash 1, the illusion of consent versus the economic exploitation. The opposition entire defense rests on a contract signature, but we prove that in this industry, consent is an illusion where labels create an oversupplied market and a young writer gets no bargaining power. It's a choice between starvation and exploitation. The opposition called ghostwriting a stepping stone. We proved it is a cage. The moment a non disclosure agreement is signed, the creator is robbed of their identity. They receive a conservative flat free buyout while the celebrity extracts decades of royalties and passive income. And now, on to our second clash, the macroeconomics and artistic pipelines. The, oppos- the opposition ignored the dimension of time in their world. Ghostwriters actually act as an artificial life support for fading superstars. Because massive labels and high risk are weird, as long as they can buy fresh ideas to feed old stars, they will never invest in an unknown kid. By banning ghostwriters, we forced a structural economic shift. Labels will have no choice but to take the capital mean from an aging star's fourth mega mansion and distributed among 10 new diverse creators. We win this debate on certainty. The opposition's benefit rely on slim hopes that a ghostwriter might someday break out in desperation in their restrictive contracts. Our harm triggers every single song and book. The exact second an NDA is signed, creators is permanently stripped from their soul's work. Thank you for listening to me.